The Learning and Technology Policy Framework for Alberta Education in Policy Direction 1 for Student-Centered Learning, one of the outcomes is that students need to develop and apply digital citizenship skills. Now, the term digital citizenship has been around for a while, and for some people, it's about following the rules of digital copyright and being, not being rude to people, um, protecting your personal information, not illegally downloading stuff, that kind of thing. For others, digital citizenship includes more. It's a set of proactive skills where we can not only, um, you know, be safe online, but also leverage technology and the internet to do positive things and affect positive change and make yourself look good. And so, one way or another, we need to, and most school boards will have policies in place stipulating that their teachers need to teach their students digital citizenship skills. So whether it's an awareness piece or whether it's skill development, there are a few different approaches out there on the internet for developing digital citizenship skills at all ages. There are a lot, and I'm going to focus on three. The International Society for Technology and Education, ISTE. Awesome. It's an international body. It's out of the States, but it's a worldwide body, which is a nonprofit for promoting the effective use of technology in schools. And they have standards for students, for teachers, for educators, etc., for tech coaches. And one of their standards is being a digital citizen. And you can see there are a few different sort of specific outcomes for what that digital citizenship involves. Now, having students develop and internalize these skills and these attitudes about the use of technology to be safe, to be kind, to be ethical, to be legal, etc. There are different approaches to this. And, in a way, you want to approach this as an educator in a way that your students will not only understand, but remember. So there are a couple of different approaches that different organizations have taken to help students and teachers not only have resources to teach them these digital citizenship skills, but also to help them remember. Here's ISTE's approach. This is fairly new. The new digital citizenship, they call it. So they break it down into three areas. A digital citizen is a digital agent, and they go into what that means. A digital interactor, they go into what that means. And a digital self, and they go into what that means. They've also created with this infographic, and there's some specifics around that. They have a wonderful poster. This can be downloaded freely, printed off. They have, in addition to that, and I'll put this on our site, they have a great video, a YouTube video, which kind of gives an overview of those three things of being the digital agent, the digital interactor, and the digital self. And it really encompasses those three different spheres of influence, if you will, encompass all the different facets of digital citizenship. Here's another approach. There's a Canadian body called Media Smarts, Canada Centre for Digital and Media Literacy. They're government funded. They're a nonprofit as well. Awesome resources. They give not only this framework, a digital literacy framework for how to approach teaching digital, and they call it digital literacy. So it's more than, a set of following the rules. It's a set of skills. But they also give some great lesson plan resources. So here's how they break it down. Instead of those three things of being, remember, ISTE had the digital agent, the digital interactor, and the digital self, and broke down all the different sub-skills into there. Media Smarts breaks down their different elements of digital literacy into the following categories: ethics and empathy, privacy, security, community engagement. So, more than just following the rules and protecting yourself, and that's all well and good, but also, being able to be mindful of your own personal health and the health and relationships physically and emotionally with others as well as using technology to kind of help others, like in community engagement, using digital citizenship in a positive way to influence others in this world. So, and within these resources here, they've got awesome lessons from grades K to 12. Here are the grades K to 3 ones. And you can see for any particular lesson, not only will it give grades and description, but it'll also show which of these 7 framework categories are addressed through this particular lesson. So Coco's Adventures AdverSmarts talks about online advertising for K to 3. And when you go into that, it gives a teacher guide, PDF. It gives, in some cases, there is a game that can be played on the, or like resources for teachers there. In other cases, there's even a handout, things to send home to parents. So what's nice about this approach is that it not only breaks down the elements of digital citizenship / digital literacy, but it also provides lesson materials. K to 12, such that almost a scope and sequence in a way, such that educators at all division levels could provide age-appropriate resources to then teach those skills. So I'm not saying one is better than the other so far. It's really up to you as an educator to decide which of these approaches, how do you want to frame it to students so that they'll remember and internalize these skills and behaviors and attitudes. So there's a third approach, and Google has taken, and it is called Be Internet Awesome. And so they have given a curriculum guide with some lesson plans, and they break it down into 5 different areas. And these words, smart, alert, strong, kind, brave, relate to their fundamental topics. So Be Internet Smart is share with care. So being careful about what you share online. Be Internet Alert refers to some very contemporary things like fake news. Be Internet Strong refers to keeping yourself secure, your personal privacy, being kind to others. It's cool to be kind. And Be Internet Brave. When in doubt, talk it out if you're being cyberbullied, etc. So that is a cool approach as well. And what's more, they have a web-based tool. It's almost a web-based world called Interland. Here's a little video overview of Interland. And I won't play the whole thing. So suffice it to say that as you go on this quest in this world, you're playing a fun game, but you're also learning some of these students that are learning to internalize some of these ideas. And the Interland games are also included in some of the lesson materials that Google has here as well. So think about how, if you're an educator and if you were tasked with, let's say you were tasked with, as a leader in your school, providing some digital citizenship education either to your students or maybe to the entire school, or maybe Division 1 or Division 2, how you would approach it best. Would you rather approach it from the ISTE perspective, being a digital agent, digital interactor, digital self, and having students remember it that way and kind of present it as an overview that way? Would you rather go with Media Smart's digital literacy framework and these particular categories, these 7 categories? Or would you rather go with Google's Be Internet Awesome and go with these 5 different topics that they have? They share with care, don't fall for fake, secure your secrets, cool to be kind, when in doubt, talk it out. So that's something for you to think about. There are loads of other resources on the internet for teaching these digital citizenship skills. But at its core, it's important to think about an approach to help students remember and internalize and understand the different elements of digital citizenship. So think carefully about which approach you would take. And I suspect that it's possible you will need to be able to give specifics about at least one of these approaches that you would choose to present digital citizenship to your students, selecting either the ISTE approach, the Media Smarts approach, or Google's Be Internet Awesome approach.